All right, let's go ahead and make this rocket an Inventor. Notice it's 9.5 inches tall and a total of 4 inches wide. Okay. File, New, click on Part, 2D Sketch. Make sure you click the XY plane. That affects your ability to use the horizontal constraints. First, I'm going to sketch a rectangle, but I want it to be dashed, so I'm going to choose the construction tool, go to the origin, click once, drag, click again, turn to my dimension tool, don't click on this dot, make the line 4 inches wide. I lost my rectangle, click on the word front. There it is. Let's make it 10 inches tall. So I went a little bit bigger than 9.5. So my rectangle should fit. Escape. My rectangle should fit in. I'm sorry, my rectangle. My rocket should fit inside of this space. Now I'm going to turn on my line tool. You generally want to start sketching at the origin if possible. That where I have the green dot right now. Click once, drag. Oh, I just realized I forgot to turn off my construction tool. If you accidentally made your whole rocket and it was all construction lines, you could click on the line and click the construction tool again, and that'll turn it back to a regular line. So let's turn on my line tool, pick up where I left off. Oh, sorry. Control Z. I just realized, escape this. I actually want you to draw a line right down the middle. Line, and the construction tool is on. Find the center right there. Notice it turns green. It's trying to help you. And click. And that should be a line down the middle. Just to make sure it's right down the middle, I'm going to turn on my dimension tool. And let's check from that point to the left corner. Sure enough, 2 inches. That's exactly where I want it. Okay. Turn off the construction tool. Turn on the line tool. And I'm going to finish sketching the rocket. Now you can zoom in while you're sketching, by the way. It's not pointy at the top. It actually is horizontal. It's flat. And then I'm going to click. I'm going to zoom out. You can pan while you're still putting the dimension on. I'm going to click it down here, match it to the corner. Come in. Click. 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 Escape. Okay, so I've just drawn the rocket profile, and the important part is that your rocket is straddling that middle line. So I'm going to zoom in, make sure you hit escape a couple times, make sure all your tools are off. If you accidentally drew it such that it looks like this, just keep in mind you haven't put dimensions on it yet, so it's not really that constrained, and you can drag points over. Okay. There you go. Now, I really want all these 4 corners, 6 corners, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They should all be lined up, and they're not. So I'm going to use my horizontal constraint to say, hey, this point right here needs to be horizontally constrained to this point. And I know that because I can see it in my sketch. If I look over here, right, these corners are all lined up. So that's what I'm trying to match right there. Let me zoom in a little bit. Right, these corners are all lined up. At the bottom, all the 4 corners are all lined up. At the top, these 2 corners are lined up. When I say lined up, I mean you could draw a horizontal line through them, so they should be horizontally constrained. I'm going to hit escape and check it. If I drag one, they all should go, but this one did not, so I'm going to horizontally constrain this point to this one. And now, notice all 6 lines move together. That's good. The bottom is probably already constrained. I can't even lift those up and down, so they're good. The top, when I sketched it, I tried to constrain it, but it didn't work. So I'm going to hit the horizontal constraint, click here, click here. Now those are lined up. So now I think I'm ready to put some dimensions on. I'm going to start with the little dimensions in the middle, dimension tool. The distance from this point to the center is a 1/16 of an inch. Click, click, click. And I'm going to write 1/16. Notice the computer changes that to 0.063. That's actually 0.0625 rounded up. And then the dimension from the center line to this point is also 1/16 of an inch. 1/16 plus 1/16 is 1/8, or 2/16, which is 1/8. Now I'm going to come down to, this area. Dimension tool's on. The distance from the center line to this point right here is also a 1/16 of an inch. And same on the other side. And if you look over here in the drawing, let's take a look at that. 0.375. It's hard to tell what it's showing. It's the distance from the center line to this ball line right here. So from the center line to this line, 0.375. Same on the other side. Okay. Escape. If you can drag a point up or down, it needs a vertical dimension, right? If you can drag it up or down, you need a vertical dimension to lock it in place. So if I look at my sketch, 3.25 is my vertical dimension that locks in the location of this point right here. 3.25. So let's go back here and let's dimension from the bottom of the rocket up to this point. 3.25. Okay. Let's throw in this other dimension at the bottom from the midpoint to the right corner. It should be 2 inches. We'll accept that dimension. I'm kind of wondering why this one didn't turn. Oh, it doesn't have an in and out dimension. What is that dimension? Let's check it out. 1 inch from the body of the rocket. We'll call this long line. So the center line is 1 inch on each side. So from the body of the rocket to the center line, that dimension is 1. Again, the center line to the body of the rocket is 1 inch. Now it turns black, and now the top doesn't look good, so let's figure out what's going on there. Again, don't forget, if things are blue, most of the time you can move it, all right, so it looks a little bit better, and then try to figure out what's the missing dimension. So let's look at the top of our drawing, and we have 1.4 inches from the top of the rocket to this first corner right here. So let's try that. Dimension from this top corner to this point. That's interesting. 1.4 is going to put it above the 10-inch line. Let's see what happens. 1.4. That seems to make the rocket more than 10 inches tall. 3.25. Escape. We still don't. Oh, we can lower it. There we go. We had the overall height of the rocket was 9.5. So we'll dimension from the very top. I'm going to pan, go to the bottom. And the overall height of the rocket was 9.5. Make sure you always move your larger dimensions outside of your smaller dimensions so your lines don't cross. And now the rocket is black. That means it's fully constrained. I am missing a dimension. Sorry, it's not fully constrained. There's a little blue line right there. What's the height of this portion, the little skinny portion? Let's check. So that skinny portion, that short line, is 4 inches from the top of the rocket. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And I'll say the dimension from the top of the rocket to that little short line is 4 inches. Okay, at this point, all the lines are black, which means I have fully constrained all the lines, both the size and shape of the rocket. Finish sketch, right? And I want to save it. I don't see any lines across the bottom. That seems kind of messed up. Let's check it out. I don't think I can extrude this because it's not a closed shape. So let's try to fix it. Right click, edit sketch. At some point, I just didn't get the lines at the bottom. I don't know why. Or maybe they're showing up as construction lines. I'm not sure. Click, click, escape, finish sketch. There we go. That looks better. Now if I extrude it, this is what it's going to look like when it's made out of wood. So 0.125 is 1/8 of an inch. And there you go. So that's what we're going to get when we laser cut out of wood. And that is piece number 1. Piece number 2 is almost exactly the same. The only difference is the slot starts at the top.